Are you serious? Are you serious? All right, have a little coffee here. We've got some information, though, that I think is a very important, and I think you may want to know about this. There is massive military drills that are scheduled for September of this year, both by Russia and NATO, which have raised the concerns by even some of the Western military commanders that a miscalculation could lead to a crisis, which we don't need a World War III. Now, recently, the United States, Japan, and South Korea held their annual drills, which were met with tensions, of course, from North Korea. However, during one of the North Korean missile tests, it exploded on the launch. The missile was aimed practically at Japan. A simple miscalculation could have led to war with North Korea and even potentially China. One simple miscalculation could end up causing a catastrophe, folks, or one planned miscalculation could be the final straw. Well, after the selection of Donald Trump and his election, the ties with Russia are not improving. They're stagnated at best. And also a recent addition of Montenegro, of course, wanting to join NATO, approved by the U.S. Senate, is guaranteed to raise those tensions even a little higher. There's no doubt about that. So U.S. and NATO officers have raised concerns over Russia's annual exercises, stating that it could create a more tension than they have in years, even recalling those that arose during the Cold War. Now, what you have in here, when Russia does their military drills, the same time that NATO is doing their military drills, in the same region, in such close proximity, that is the question. Because everybody watches everybody's movements. And if anything looks like it could be a provocation or a potential situation that could result in an offensive strike by either side, people are putting defense mechanisms in place to protect themselves from a surprise attack. And so if you have military drills going, what a better time in reality, there's no better time to launch a surprise attack but during a, quote, military drill. Because under the guise of the drill, you could be launching a military offensive. And you'll have all of your military personnel in position because you can say it was a drill. And that's why there's a lot of tension right now for coming up in this September. I don't think, look, let's just pray to God nothing happens. But the concern is a concern. And so because we've seen some aggressiveness out of Vladimir Putin in Russia, and no doubt Donald Trump also has to reestablish American dominance, as he has said. Rebuild the military. Make sure it is so strong that nobody wants to mess with us. And so I even saw Vladimir Putin this morning having a conference with the president of Iceland and the president of Finland. And they were doing a live interview with each other. And the question was asked about President Donald Trump and U.S.-Russian relationships and the fact that U.S. is beefing up their military. And Putin said, look, the United States already has the largest military. They spend more money on the military than the whole world combined. And so if Trump is going to spend another $60 billion more than normal on top of that, he said, it's just, basically he's trying to say it's just overkill. But at the same time, he understands it. And, everybody needs to basically stay in their own corner. For the most part. Well, let's see how this thing plays out, folks, because I think it's very interesting. We don't need World War III. We don't need World War III from an accidental miscalculation in September of 2017, especially when the 12th, in Revelation 12, we see this great wonder in the heavens, when the constellations, and Jupiter is passing through the womb of the woman with the 12 stars above her head and the sun under her feet. We don't need World War III. The great dragon is mentioned, of course, in it. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're in the last days.